What's your thoughts on obviously the current Cardiff squad team? How well they're doing at this current time?
Yeah, well, I saw them last year when they played West Ham. And funny enough, as you mentioned about your daughter, I took my youngest son back and back to the same
Yeah,
place we lived, and we,
yeah,
we
yeah,
walked around. And actually met a neighbour from when we lived there. Uh, it's a tough league. Let's be
yeah,
honest.
yeah,
It's uh, you kind of want to think that for any team that's promoted, as much as you want to do well by the players who got you there,
yeah,
you've got to change it.
yeah, yeah,
And you can't give them a little start and then change it because it's too late by then. So it's very difficult to make that
yeah.
transition, But I say, you've got a fighting chance of a good season, but you really want to put things in place that if you do go up, you stay up.
Yeah, well,
But it's tough
I
league.
said this. I said this when they got relegated that it was probably going to be tougher season this season than it was in the Premier League last year because they kept the nucleus of the squad, the expectations a lot higher.
Mm,
Obviously, then the manager leaves, new manager comes in, and now he's under quite a lot of pressure, Neil, uh,
yeah,
to then bring on his own ideas, implement them into game situations, and give them an opportunity to get promoted. Because you've just said there, for me, it's the most difficult league out there
mm,
because the money involved to get promoted is massive,
yeah,
and people rely on it.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? The Championship now is a mini Premier League. Still a lot
yeah,
of money involved in it,
yeah,
and there's so many good sides and big football
yeah,
clubs who sometimes
yeah,
can be stuck in it
yeah,
for too long.
yeah. Yeah, it's scary. Look at the conference, Andy, and how many former league teams in the
Oh,
conference.
scary,
It's
mate.
just hard,
Yeah, scary. Scary,
don't feel under
but then you
pressures.
look at players as well, though, mate. That I look at non-league. You know, what I mean, non-league football now is inundated with ex-Premier League, ex-players and Premier League
Yeah,
players, Championship players, because
yeah,
the money involved in part-time football, non-league football,
yeah,
is very good if players can have a
yeah,
job, and players can't take that risk sometimes to go be a professional footballer and earn
yeah,
not as much as they would if they had
yeah,
a part-time football job and a
yeah,
full-time normal
yeah.
job. So it's
Yeah,
strange
and
one.
also, you look at the British, the English, the English pyramid. You've got the influx of lots of
Yeah,
other countries. It's almost like a European league in terms
yeah,
of
yeah,
nationalities who play, and even the
yeah.
conference. You'll have very good European players
Yeah, totally
playing
agree.
as well.
Totally agree. Totally
Yeah,
agree. Well, I spoke to Jason
yeah,
Turner about Notts County that you know what I mean. Their budget's massive budget, and in the conference, you know what I mean. They're not even anywhere near
yeah,
they were never nowhere near the top. You know what I mean. So they're getting punished again because they had an opportunity to get promoted this year. Obviously, the outcome's not come out, but about points per game, etc. But you know what I mean. These kind of clubs are relying on. Being able to finish the seasons because
yeah,
they need to get out where they are because they need the money, they need better players, they need bums on seats.
yeah,
So it's a
yeah.
difficult
They
one.
do, they do.
Difficult one.
Andy, I just wanted to obviously mention about kind of players and ex-players and men in general about mental health and
Yeah,
just making sure they talk to people.
yeah,
I think for lots of players, we go through the same emotions and the highs and lows, and it just don't be afraid to speak to older players,
yeah,
ex-players, because obviously they can help you, and
yeah.
just be mindful that.
I think we've all been through tough times, haven't we? You know that. You know, I've been through a divorce and. I've been through certain things in my life since leaving football, and it's difficult. Obviously, obviously, we both played with Chrissy Barker.
Yeah,
I went to Chrissy's funeral, obviously along with a couple of the other boys, and it was such a I'd probably say an eye opener because it's probably the first time that you probably realise that one little decision and one little it has
yeah,
a bigger impact on just yourself. You know what I mean?
yeah,
There's a bigger picture than just I and me. That
yeah,
you know what I mean? What you're leaving behind. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Your family, your
yeah,
kids, your mum and dad, etc. The rest of your family, your friends, and you know what I mean? And if Chrissy knew, God rest his soul, if Chrissy knew the love and the respect he had
yeah,
of people,
yeah, yeah,
that I
yeah,
don't think he would have done what he done. You know that,
yeah.
and
It
if but then, you know what I mean? Not everybody, like you say, picks the phone up and checks on people like we should and like we. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah,
it's been such a long time speaking to you, and
yeah.
after 5 minutes of a conversation, looking at you now on my screen, that it feels like we've never been
We
away,
go
mate.
back.
And you
Yeah,
go back
precisely.
and you reminisce
Yeah,
and sometimes it gives you that little bit of a boost because it's difficult times what we're in at the minute. But at the same time, it's difficult coming out of football.
yeah,
And I think that transition coming out of football, and I think for any young footballer listening to this and watching this, probably needs to realise that it's not easy, but there is a progression and there is an avenue and a ladder for them to get on, and but it's not easy as well, and you've got to work and you've got to be dedicated and you've got to understand there's going to be good days and there's going to be bad days, because not everything is just given to you on a plate, and that's in football and out of football.
And it's just kind of having that recognition that what life may look like to outside is not the same, and it's about talking to people, and I say I think for me it's a very long crossroads from when you play, when you stop playing.
Totally agree, because the thing is, people say play as long as you can, which you try to do for your own sanity, for your own, just for yourself. But
and it's all you know.
Well, exactly. But at the same time, you're doing loads of damage to your body, and then you're retired far longer than you are playing. You know what I mean? So there's a longer life outside of football than there is within football, and I think sometimes that's not explained to you very well. And I think the PFA have a probably a bigger duty to just to educate young players and old players, but tell them at a young age, so they have an idea that this is coming one day. If it might not be in 10, 15, 20 years, hopefully, but one day that day will come that you're too old or whatever.
Yeah, I think if I'm honest, the PFA are great. The PFA are there for you within 0 to 5 years of when you stop playing, but you don't really need them then.
No.
It's the 5 to 10 to 15. That's when you need a bit more, a bit more support. I agree. So it's a tough one. How are you keeping fit? What do you do?
Well, I still play over 40s now. So I turned 40. Well, I've just turned 41. So when I turned 40 last year, I joined the over 40s league. So I play for Middlesbrough over 40s. So we play in the Sunderland league, and obviously our season got cancelled this year, same as everyone else's. But I just enjoyed that feeling of getting back. I wasn't gonna do it, but I just thought, you know what I mean. I missed the banter in the changing room. I didn't have the willpower to start going and getting myself to the gym every day. So I started running around the streets, get myself in half decent shape, and just enjoy playing. Just to play in the banter, having a pint after the game. That's what I enjoy.
And I say to anybody who can still play as long as you can. Well, because once that's gone, you can't go back.
Well, this is 40 minutes each way. You know what I mean? I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest in our team. I'm the youngest probably in the opposition. You know what I mean? There's 50, 60-year-olds playing against me. So, you know what I mean? It gives me that little bit of a boost and just something that I feel fit. And when I finished, I feel good about myself. So it's just that confidence boost factor.
Yeah, I'm 49. I stopped playing five-a-side about 5 years ago. Just knees are gone. I was playing on a Thursday. And still recovering by Tuesday. So I walk and I swim. I say you play as long as you can, because it's such a great thing to do.
I totally agree. And I think that's the thing, you know what I mean? Because you're a longer time retired. The banter and the things that you do miss more than probably the game. You know what I mean? There's yourself during the game. The games are, you know what I mean? Especially when you get older, the game's a nightmare. But it's the changing room banter before, after the training, and the week's better than sometimes the games. And you only probably miss playing when you're not playing.
Hey, are you aware though? When it comes to banter, the outside world don't get it.
No, they don't.
So when I try it, just don't get it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Well, you know what I mean? When I first went into teaching, and there was, I mean, the thing is, if you're in a female orientated room or classroom, for example, you know what I mean, that you got to be very careful what you say. You know what I mean? Because you know yourself, the changing room banter can be vicious. Can be extremely ruthless at times. So you know what I mean. You've always got to be careful. So when you're telling stories and things, sometimes I find myself holding back and not giving the whole story, and then the story is not as good, because I find myself being very careful and very subdued what I'm saying, because the football life is such a different place.
Yeah, and just explain to others, it's like, so you've signed on Monday. I need to know you as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
So that's when the banter gets laid on.
Yeah, straight away to see.
Come Saturday. Yeah, come Saturday, you're beside me. So and that's what we do. We get to someone, we know what works for them, what they like, they dislike, and that's how you build. You build characters, don't you? So
it's sink or swim moments, isn't it? You know what I mean? And I find, especially with Sam Hammond's side, you know what I mean, that he was quite clever in the changing room and the players he wanted to bring in, because they were mentally strong, I believe. You know what I mean? I believe to go through what. Well, obviously you got promoted. The season I signed, we got beaten in the playoffs by Stoke in the second leg, and then the season after we got promoted, and you don't have a a weak mentality if you don't become winners like we did that year, the previous year, or the following year. So no, we've all played our part, mate. So we should all be very proud of what we achieved.
We do. It's always fun as a footballer as well. So no matter the success you get, it's you always look back at that one moment. And if I equate it, for example, look at John Terry's penalty in the Champions League final. Yeah. So although they won it the year after, he didn't play. And there's always a moment you think, if only that would have fallen for me. And obviously my game was the Stoke game, because obviously we had that tremendous run. And actually we missed out automatic by a point because we drew one game. What when you look back, what would you say is the most regretful?
I remember that Stoke game, the second leg, because obviously I'd signed full time, obviously during that season, and I drove back to Middlesbrough straight after that game, and I remember driving back, and my head was being all over the place because obviously the disappointment and things, and I just thought by the time I got myself back to Middlesbrough after about a 6-hour drive, I was more determined to get things right the following season, because that goal really hurt, and it was obviously the timing of it, because they scored late in the second half. They scored right at the death in extra time. You know what I mean? So, and obviously the rivalry we had with Stoke as well. You know what I mean? Obviously didn't help things, and you know what I mean. So I think that was one game which made me work harder in the summer to come back in good shape for the following season, which I managed to start the season. So I got myself in good shape because of that. And I think it's moments like that sometimes it can have an adverse effect and give you a positive impact, because the negatives can have a positive impact. Where sometimes when you get promoted, you know what I mean, like we did the following season. Sometimes you take your eye off the ball a little bit and you come back in less as good shape, even though you've gone into a higher league, and it's going to be tougher that you think it's all right because I've scored the winning goal. I can come back and relax a little bit. You know what I mean? Maybe you take your foot off the gas a little bit when you shouldn't do.
Yeah, and isn't life interesting? Because I think for me, my career went in that moment.
Yeah.
Well, I say it didn't went, but things changed. Whereas for you came back and you got stronger and better, and that culminated in the goal you scored. So isn't it funny like that? The life of a footballer.
But then it's like the goal had a negative effect on my Cardiff career, because obviously we got promoted. We had the manager brought in new players. You know what I mean? Then the pressure got ramped up on obviously Lenny. Lenny lost his job. Dave Jones came in, wanted different players. So you know what I mean? If I would never change it. You know what I mean? Because
life's funny.
Because life is, but it's, you know what I mean. And I think as well, you have a shelf life at a football club, and I think, you know what I mean, I think I was there just under 4 years. So I think, you know what I mean, or 4 years just gone for that. I think probably that's your shelf life at a football club. Maybe that you don't want to outstay your welcome sometimes. You know what I mean? If you stay there probably 7, 8, 10 years, you've done extremely well. And you know what I mean, for players that I know have stayed at clubs that long, it's fair play to them. But no,
I'm not sure about you, but I mean, for me, it's not better. Managers, if I wasn't playing, I hated them.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
If I played, I loved them.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think that's just the way we are. And you know what I mean, when a manager tells you that you're not part of his plans, you're not going to, you don't take it very well. And if a manager tells you you're not starting, you want to know why, and you want to question things. And I don't see it being out of order or being a bad egg in the changing room, but it's just passion. You want to play football, and if you're not, for me, I'd find a bigger problem, Leo, if you didn't play and you just accepted it and sat and with laughing and joking, because I'd see a bigger problem in that. Where I'd like to think everyone was disappointed, gutted, upset if they didn't play. And you know what I mean? I like you say, every manager who picked the team on a Friday or a Saturday and they picked you in the team, you'd always have a bit of banter with them. But if they didn't pick you, you wouldn't even make eye contact with them, because you wouldn't, you know what I mean? Even if you went to the toilet at the same time, you'd just ignore them and you'd just be a bit awkward, a bit uncomfortable. But you know what I mean?
The highs and lows, eh?
You're right, mate. Yeah, but
highs and lows.
But we need to keep in touch, mate. That's one thing we all.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, we'll do.
You take care and
nice speaking to you.
You too, mate.
Yeah, and to you, mate, and to yours. You take care.